I want to begin this video by first extending my condolences to the family of now the late Charlie Kirk. Something tells me that this very well was an inside job, and I have many reasons as to why I believe so. It's because, I don't know if you guys paid attention, but Charlie Kirk had begun to question the narratives of Israel. And as he began to do that, even on his interview with Ben Shapiro, there was a signal that Ben Shapiro was giving to Charlie Kirk that pretty much was like, let's not go there, buddy. But I'm not going to go and touch too deep heavily into this because I'm still looking into it. But I will point this out, that what we are seeing, friends, is a nation divided. Furthermore, I'm also noticing that people are very cold. People's hearts are actually much more colder than you think. Many people are celebrating at the loss of the life of Charlie Kirk, completely neglecting the fact that there are children who are now fatherless, and there is a wife who is now a widow. Be careful about rejoicing at the loss of any life, my friends. What I'm seeing is that these events are actually exposing the hearts of people. These kinds of events are exposing the nakedness of America. Let's be real, the streets are not safe anymore. Mankind has lost his humanity. If you notice, almost everybody is behaving like a beast. Now, I found this post that was made by Harrison Smith, and he made a statement about Charlie Kirk, and this was actually dated August 13th. So this was last month, before he would be unalived. And he says the following. He says, I'm not gonna name names, but I was told by someone close to Charlie Kirk that Charlie Kirk thinks Israel will unalive him if he turns against them. If anyone paid attention, you will notice that as of late, there was pressure upon Charlie Kirk to actually speak the truth and to actually give a true, honest opinion about the events going down in the quote-unquote Middle East involving Israel and the Palestinians. And Charlie Kirk began to actually make some speeches which would put him to be in agreement with some people and or some groups which may have been anti-Semitic. Now, this is gonna trip you out, okay? This is where also I'm saying we gotta question everything. And this doesn't make sense, but it almost seems like someone knew that this was going to happen and it was all set up. Do you remember the time when Trump was quote-unquote assassinated, when there was the attempt on Trump's life? When Trump raised up his hand and he said, fight, fight, fight. Remember that event? Well, look at the individual that stood behind Trump. Now, as you look at this quote-unquote bodyguard, I believe this is the bodyguard or the security, just how he stands. If you look, you will notice that those two individuals are not two separate individuals, but rather it is the exact same individual. The same guy standing behind Trump at the time when there was the attempt on Trump's life is the same guy standing behind Charlie Kirk at the time of Charlie's passing. Prior to Charlie's passing, look at the man behind him. Look at the signals that they gave. This is a clear signal that has a meaning.
Heads up, ready, looks over, all clear, go.
And yes, there's people pointing out as well that black thing that was on his right side and then it moved over to his left side. I do think that that very well is just a microphone, but I mean, hey, to each their own. I do think that that is the microphone that did get moved. There is obviously as well video that does show him playing with his ring before, and that ring does unclip itself. He moves it around from one finger to another. There is a video that shows that. But I do believe that there is a certain nation that I'm going to just call Misrael. Alright? So Misrael requires your undivided loyalty, and your loyalty must not change. If you are going to stand for Misrael, you must not question Misrael, or else Misrael will not like it. And if Misrael does not like it, then your life is hanging in the balance and is at the mercy of Misrael. I do believe that a sacrifice had to be done that is going to change and shift the direction of America, and he was that sacrifice. I believe that now greater changes are going to come upon America because of this one single event. I believe that we are about to see rapid movements in new government policies, and you're going to watch and see how some of your constitutional rights are going to be removed from you, and with haste. One new government policy to another new government policy, and before you know it, security trumps freedom. They will promise you peace and safety, but they can never promise you freedom. Remember what the Bible says? When they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child. Charlie Kirk had a lot of young people on his side, and many young people, many youth were paying attention to what was going on in the Middle East. And I will say this, many young people, their eyes are opening. Here's what I'm going to do, because this is potentially a very big subject, and I do want to err on the side of caution. I want to make sure that the words that I speak are accurate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you, what are your thoughts on all this that I have just spoken so far, and what evidences have you found concerning this subject? Please share your comment, share everything that you know in the comment section. Let's come together and let's compile the information together. For now, I'm going to hold my tongue. I'm curious as to what you have to say. I'll be in the comment section. This is The Controversy 7. Thank you for tuning in and for joining me. Make sure you check out my second channel and subscribe to it. The link is in the video description box and also pinned at the comment section. Alright, I'm not going to hold you off. You take care of yourselves. Be blessed, be safe. I'll see you in the next video. The next video has to do with the Black Awakening.